Hello, it's Sonia here, the Pretty Stitch. Welcome to my channel. If this is your first time joining me, I'm so happy to have you here. So today we are going to be making an ear warmer and we're going to be knitting. I don't knit an awful lot on this channel, but I do knit some, and we're going to knit today. And as you can see, I've already casted on my stitches. So for this project, I am using number 6 needles. I'm just using some basic straight needles, but you could use circulars if you have those. And like I said before, these are number 6, and I'm using worsted weight or number 4 yarn, but I do think this would work with chunkier yarn. Just might be a little bit bigger of an ear warmer. It does have some stretch, and I'm using 2 colors. So I'm going to pair these together. I think they're pretty. I think they'll be nice. And the nice thing is there's not a whole lot of ends with this because we do carry our work. And this is made in rows, and then you sew it, the ends closed, to turn it into an ear warmer. And I already made one, so here is one. And this one's really pretty. I'm going to keep this for myself, and I am going to be wearing it tomorrow. I have this Christmas, I'm seeing a bunch of Christmas lights, and it's going to be chilly and I think rainy, and so I thought, well, I'm going to wear something cute. So as I used 2 colors here, this gray, this multicolored, and I think it turned out really cute. As you can see, it has nice flexibility to it, and I really liked how this project turned out. So it's a very simple knitted project, so if you're a beginner knitter, you shouldn't have any trouble making this. If you're an experienced knitter, you really won't have any trouble making this. I'm kind of an in-between knitter. I'm not straight up beginner, but I'm definitely not like super skilled. So to begin this project, what you'll need to do is cast on 92 stitches. So I've casted on 92 stitches, and however you like to do your cast on, I did long tail cast on, but you know, there's different cast on techniques, but I did long tail for this. So for rows 1 through 4, we are just going to knit. So this is actually garter stitch. So every row is knit. So just basic knit stitch all the way across. So I'm going to go work my garter stitch here. So just rows 1 through 4, work your knit stitch. Now, of course, you could make this all in one color. You could actually use multiple colors. I think it might be cute to make one and a whole bunch of different ones, but I'm going to use 2 colors for this one, and you could do different stripe combinations as well with this project. Like I said, it's definitely a beginner knit project, but I think it looks really nice. And this is a good one to use multicolored yarn because we're using simple stitches. So you see this is multicolored yarn, but I think it looks really, really pretty because the star is the yarn here, because this is just stockinette stitch, really shows off the colors of the yarn very nicely. So I'm going to work my 4 rows and I will meet you back. Okay, so I worked my 4 rows of knit, so you can see I've got garter stitch going on here. So we're ready for row 5. We're going to be knitting again, and I'm going to switch to the blue here. So I'm not cutting the gray. As I said before, I'm going to carry my work, and we're going to knit with that for row 5. You're going to knit all the way across. Okay, so I finished up row 5. So rows 6 through 10, we're going to be alternating rows 5 and 6. So row 6, we're just purling all the way across because we're working stockinette stitch. So this is row 6, so it's going to be a purl row. Row 7 is an odd row, so then that is our knit row. And then row 8 is a purl row, row 9 is a knit row, and then row 10 we're going to purl again. And I'm going to be changing some colors. I think I'm going to do rows 5 and 6 with this blue here, and then rows 7 and 8 I'm going to use the gray. So I'm just going to pick it up on the side. So I'm going to have some carries on the side, but how we finish this project, that's all going to be hidden, so we don't have to worry about cutting after each row. Okay, so I worked up to row 10, so here is row 10. So what we're going to do is rows 11 and 12, we're going to just work knit stitch, or so garter stitch. So I'm going to pick up my gray again, because I want that to be garter. And then what you're going to do is rows 13 through 18, you're going to be repeating rows 5 and 6. So we're going to be working the stockinette stitch. And then rows 19 and 20, we are going to again work the garter stitch. And then rows 21 through 26, you're again going to be repeating rows 5 and 6, I'm sorry. And then rows 27 through 29, we're just going to knit across, so working garter stitch. And I'm going to put all that up on the screen, and then we'll be getting ready to do the bind off. So I'm going to keep going. I'll meet you back at the end of row 29. Okay, so here we go. I've worked 30 rows. I think I said previously 29 rows, and that was incorrect, and I will have put that up on the screen so you'll see that was not correct. So we finished up with 4 rows of garter stitch. So now we need to bind off, and we're just going to bind off the traditional way, and we're binding off in knit. So I'm going to keep going here, just working the bind off row, and I will meet you back and we'll get ready to finish up this ear warmer. Okay, so I finished binding off. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to leave a tail for sewing, so probably around 12 inches or so. So I'm going to cut that. So here's my tail. Because now we have to turn this into an ear warmer. Alright, so there we go. So it might need a little bit of a block because she wants to curl. But what we want to do is we want to have the right sides touching. So this is the right side, and we're going to fold it. Just going to give it a little bit of a stretch there to try to help smooth it out. Now when I already made one and I worn it, and it was fine wearing, even though it curls a little bit, but wearing it was fine on my head. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to thread our needle here, our yarn needle. So you want to take your ends. So here's the one end. We're going to fold these ends, and we're just going to sew like a cute twist. I think it's really pretty. I do have a lot of projects with the twist, but I actually just really like it. I think it's really nice. Alright, so we have our ends folded, and we're just going to tuck them in. I mean, you could just sew it straight across if you wanted to, but I do like that twist. I just think it looks really nice. So now we have 4 layers, so 1, 2, 3, 4. So here is my yarn needle, and what we're going to do is we want to sew all the way across these 4 layers, and I'm going to sew around my carries as well. So I'm just taking that, I'm going to go into that first layer, you want to make sure you grab the end there. So there's my second one. Here is the third, and then the end here for the fourth. And just sew that, and we're just going to sew all the way across. So I'm going to keep going here, just sewing across my layers, and I will meet you back. Okay, so I finished sewing across, and of course I'm going to need to weave in that end, but I just wanted to show you how the magic happens when you turn it right side out, and just how nice that looks with that pretty cross there, that X, that twist. I think that looks really nice. It looks really nice when you're wearing it. And so here is the other one that I made, so you can see. So you can see how like this one it folds in, but when it's on your head, it doesn't do that, and it's fine because, like I said, I've worn this one, and this one looks a little smaller. But the nice thing is it has a lot of stretch to it, so I think it'll be fine. But I did use, I believe this is like a Caron Simply Soft yarn, so that yarn is slightly. It's labeled number 4, but to me, I think it's closer to like a decate weight yarn, where this yarn is like classic, traditional worsted weight number 4. I believe it was Red Heart Super Saver, which is like, you know, totally number 4 worsted weight yarn, where this, I lost the label, but it feels like Caron Simply Soft, and just from using it in, you know, in previous projects, I just feel like it's just slightly of a lighter weight yarn than, let's say, Red Heart worsted weight. But I think, you know, it's nice. It has a lot of stretch to it, you know, pretty comfortable to wear. I like wearing these, especially because I have longer hair, so hats don't always work for me because I like to wear my hair in a bun, and then I can wear these. So I, of course, need to weave in ends and give it a light block, and then it's all set. So I hope you enjoyed this project, and if you did, please like and subscribe, and thank you so much for watching.